My name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. And we got a lot to talk about today, no doubt about that. We're going to cover a lot. Did you guys watch the Elon Musk Trump interview? I watched it this morning. And I'll give you a spoiler alert as to what I'm going to be talking about on I'm going to talk about the interview in the beginning, but I think Hannity blew that interview. So you guys getting a little spoiler alert as to what I'll be talking about when I go live. But I think Hannity just blew that interview. He just won't shut up and let them talk. He is, what am I wrong on that? Do you guys agree with that? I mean, and I'm not sure if it's him trying to impress Trump and Elon and his viewers, or if he thinks he's a teacher that people are stupid and they need to know all these things. But I think Hannity blew that interview. What do you guys think? They also made a mistake. They did that interview how long ago? They've been teasing it for days and days, and it was a little dated. It should have been aired the day of the interview to make it relevant in the news. I thought it was a little too generic, but I was very disappointed in Hannity. What do you guys think? Did you guys watch the interview? That's what I'm going to talk about that in the beginning. We got a lot to cover, though. I mean, that's just one of the things I'm going to cover. But that's a big one. No doubt, that's a big one. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, they just made them. There were a couple mistakes Fox made with that interview. One, it should have been it should have aired the day of the interview. Okay. That's one, right? You guys agree with that? It should have aired the day of the interview so it was relevant to what was going on in the news. Okay. I don't watch Hannity either, but he interviews Trump. I'm going to watch. And he just wouldn't stop freaking talking. Went down the wrong way. Coffee went down the wrong way. Oh my goodness. Oh. Oh. Man, if I choke to death, would the video go viral? Oh my goodness. Holy smokes. That was rough. Well, luckily it happened before I went on the air. But that was not good for my throat for the next 3 hours of broadcasting. Oh my goodness. That was rough. That was rough. Oh my goodness. I choked. The coffee went down the wrong way. It happens. Well, there was that time years ago when I collapsed on the air and I had to call the paramedics. Paramedics came and got me. That was exciting. Very exciting. Oh, that was not good. Yeah, it's a hard interview to do with Trump because he's been interviewed so many times. That's a very hard interview to do. But the way around that is you ask him about things that are going on the news that day, and you air it that day. I mean, when was that recorded? They were promoting it last week, so it was recorded sometime last week. And I mean, like as an example, I watched the interview not live last night. I watched it this morning, and I watched I can't remember if this was on I watched it on YouTube, on the Fox News YouTube channel, and on some of the clips on X. And there was one, I'm not sure if this was on TV or not. I can't remember if I saw it on X or on YouTube, but there was an edit on one of the clips where he asks Elon about his background, like his resume, and he says, "Oh, I learned this when I was doing my research for this interview." So, and then that was edited out of one of the versions. I don't know if it was on the Fox News YouTube channel. I don't know if that made it on TV, but it sounded like he really didn't know too much, that he had to brush up on Elon right before the interview. It was a strange thing. And then they did edit it out of one of the versions of the interview I saw. I just don't know if it was on TV or not. But I think Hannity blew it. I think that was just such a wasted opportunity. It's so difficult and nearly impossible to blow a Trump interview. He did an interview with someone, President Trump, on Fox. I can't remember who it was. Was it? It might have been Brett Baier, and I don't know if it was Brett Baier, but they ran the interview the day that it was recorded, which is important. No, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't even care about Jimmy Kimmel. He's so irrelevant. Oh my goodness, that was rough. That was rough. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We're going to be live on the radio in just a few short minutes, so we're not on the radio yet. This is kind of like the pre-radio show part of the stream. Welcome. And what I'm going to open with is the Hannity interview with President Trump and Elon Musk. I watched it this morning in its entirety. It's on the Fox News YouTube channel. I did not watch it last night, but I did watch it this morning. And when things like this happen, I try to watch them as close to going on the air as possible so it's fresh in my mind. And what I'm going to ask you guys, and you can call me, about this, did Sean Hannity blow that interview? And I say that he did. I think out of all... Now, again, this is a common problem with... I'm going to open up with this, so you guys are getting a sneak peek of what I'm going to bring up on the radio. But Hannity typically blows his interviews, but that one was particularly bad last night. It was one of his worst because he wouldn't stop talking. He interrupts. He asks very basic, stupid questions, and I thought it was awful. And there's a few other things about it, too, that were pretty bad. Okay, just got the text from Mike on when we're going live. We'll be live in about 3 minutes on the radio. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And I'm always reluctant to do that because when a lot of what I do is give, I guess, critiques and reviews of other people that that are in media. But I was really looking forward to that interview. I was talking about it on my podcast with my wife earlier this week, that interview would go down as one of the most historic interviews of any president ever, because there's never, to my knowledge, I can't think of one where any president of the United States has done a sit-down interview with a second person like that was not their wife. It's a very unusual opportunity. And Hannity, what happened with Hannity? He got divorced from his wife that he was married to when he started out. And then he got together, and then he started playing the field, because he's kind of a pudgy, not a good-looking guy, and kind of a dork. And he started playing the field with hot girls, right? Like Ainsley, he's engaged to now. And he feels like he's the big man on campus because he's living the life that he wished he could have lived in high school and in his 20s, right? Midlife crisis kind of stuff. Yeah. Is that a good take? Do you guys agree with that about Hannity or not? Now, you're welcome to call in. The number, when you're watching live, I'll be taking calls when we go on the air. And you're welcome to call in. The toll-free number is pinned in the live chat. And, he was split from his wife for years before the public knew about it. I was shocked when I found out. I don't know how he kept it a secret. And I don't know, what do you guys think about Ainsley with all of her, Sunday school teacher kind of personality when she is living with a man she's not married to? Do you think there's a little bit of hypocrisy in that? What do you guys think? I don't know. Hannity lives here. He does his show from Palm Beach, so when you call me on the air, there are people listening that know Sean. I know for a fact. So what you say very well could get back to Sean Hannity. It would not be surprising to me. So, All right, we're going to be on the air in about 30 seconds. Yeah, when guys can't get girls when they're young, when they get old and rich and successful, their egos get out of control. That's midlife crisis time. All right, stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig, and you are listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. All right, we got a lot to cover today, but I'm going to start with the Hannity interview last night on Fox with our favorite president, Donald Trump, and Elon Musk. And I'm going to ask your thoughts on this, and I'm going to tell you, I've been looking forward to this interview since I first heard about it. I was very excited about it. They've been promoting this Trump-Musk interview by Hannity since before the weekend. Thursday or Friday is when I saw the first promo, and the promo they dropped was a very good clip, and I have been very, very excited. Okay, I mean very excited about this interview. I talked about earlier in the week how this interview could be the most, or one of the most historic interviews ever done with a president, and that would be because I don't know of any instance where a president of the United States, in particular Trump, who's got a lot of controversy so far as history goes, okay, 2 non-consecutive terms, they shot him, they tried to shoot him again, the mugshots and all of that. So because of all of that, he's going to be a president that's remembered in 200 years. He's not going to be these presidents that are forgotten about, that nobody knows anything about, unless they do a Google search, right? So and to sit down with the richest man in the world and do an interview sitting next to the richest man in the world who you're partnered with to do an audit of federal government spending is historic. And that interview had the potential to be an interview that people would look at 200 years from now. But Hannity blew it. I got to tell you, Hannity did what, it's very difficult to blow an interview with Donald Trump, but Hannity, in my opinion, blew it for a number of reasons, which I'm going to talk about. I was very disappointed in that interview, and I noticed Fox wasn't talking about it too much early in the morning. They didn't say too much, so I even think they know. And I'd like to hear your thoughts about it. One thing that he did, which he does often, Hannity, in his interviews, is he doesn't stop talking. And that's it. I mean, he just keeps interrupting, okay? He just keeps interrupting. And when that happens, it's hard to know what's going on. It throws off who you're interviewing. And they made a very big mistake on Fox News about this interview. I think I saw the preview clip when President Trump talked about how they were trying to divide him, which was really the high point of the interview, and they showed it to us. That was Friday, maybe Thursday last week. It was the end of last week. So that interview was done last week, and then they aired it, Tuesday, right? Last night. the way to do an interview with Donald Trump is not an easy interview. And the reason it's not an easy interview, it's because he's done so many interviews and he's always communicating all the time. So to get President Trump to talk about something that you haven't heard him asked about 2,000 times is not easy. So the way around that is you do the interview with the plans on airing it that same day, and you do it as late in the day as possible, and you, as his schedule will permit, and you ask about specific things that are going on in the news that day. Okay? And this is just off the top of my head. I would have asked about the peace negotiations with Russia. They excluded Zelensky. President Trump said yesterday in his press conference they got to have an election, that Zelensky has passed his term, and Russia says that an election in Ukraine is a condition. So I would ask him, Mr. President, is Zelensky at this point in time a dictator? Something like that. I mean, that may not have been exactly, but something like that. The questions that Hannity asked, I thought, were generic questions that were really even kind of out of date. The news cycle goes so fast now. I mean, fast. Okay? And when it does, it goes fast. And when I say fast, the news change, the news cycles, what I've noticed since Trump has come into his second term, are 6 hours long, about 6 hours. Every 6 hours, there's a new news cycle. If you're lucky, 9 or 10. Okay? And the interview, like as an example, one of the things Hannity asked about, because this question was asked by President Trump yesterday in the press conference and a few times in the Oval Office in the last week. If Doge and Elon come across something that is a conflict with one of his companies, what will you do? And he says, well, he told me before I told him he won't have anything to do with it. He's been asked that question several times in that press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday as well. I mean, there was nothing. And the other thing with Hannity, I'm not really sure what the deal is with Hannity. There's been a personality change in Hannity in the last few years. And I would describe it as an overinflated ego. And I know, People National makes over $50 million a year and all that stuff. And it may be difficult, and all this. But he's not the same person. And the first time I saw a change is when he got rid of, the show used to be Hannity and Combs. And no one could convince me that Hannity didn't go to Fox and get Combs fired. And Alan Combs was a Democrat, a liberal, but he was a Republican by the standards of these lunatics today, and he was a nice guy. Steve Kane was, he's passed away, but Steve Kane was friends with Alan Combs, and he was a very nice guy. I had a few interactions with him. For a liberal, he's not like these vile people you see today. But what I think happened with Hannity, and this is just a little bit of my amateur psychological analysis. And if you're on hold, stand by. After the first break, I'll take some calls and like to hear your thoughts on the interview. And I've got more to share about it too. This is just the beginning. Hannity divorced a few years ago. He and his wife split. The wife that he started out with, the wife that was with him before he was famous. And I believe what happened with Hannity is the fame went to his head. He and his wife split. And for the first time in his life, he was hooking up with hot women. Like he's now with Ainsley, who's on Fox, and they're engaged. Okay? And I think a lot of times and I've noticed this in people that men that I've known, guys that I know. And guys that can't get girls when they're young, at least not hot girls, when they're in high school or in their 20s, when they get older and successful, and they can because they're wiser and they're rich or they're famous, their egos get out of control. They think they're all that because they're having sex with a hot girl and they can do it now with hot girls and all this stuff. I think there's a lot of that in play with Hannity. No one could convince me of anything else, okay? And he was split from his first wife really for years before the public knew about it. When I found out about it, I was shocked, and I talked about it on the program. Also, that there's with that kind of ego comes a lot of other things. And the one thing that a lot of broadcasters that run into is what I consider, there's a term, Steve and I use this sometimes, not so much on the air, but when we're talking amongst ourselves, radio death. Radio death. People can do things on the air that are radio death, right? Which destroy shows and are boring. And an example of that is something that a lot of broadcasters fall into. Rachel Maddow, even though she's not on radio, she used to be. She was on Air America Radio, but she's on MSNBC now. But she does a version of what Hannity, I believe, is a part of what he does. And when someone is on the air doing a show on the radio or television, and they get into this head that they're a teacher, that's radio death. And Rachel Maddow, she thinks she's a college professor educating her audience about these things that you need to know that you don't know because you're not smart as her. And Hannity goes through a talking point list constantly of the issues of the day because he thinks he's got to teach by repetition to the audience. Now, he may not think of it in that way, but as a viewer and as a listener, that's how I take it, okay? That he's got to educate the viewers and his listeners as to all the facts that are going on. That's deadly so far as I'm concerned. Another thing he does is constantly interrupts, and that's okay if you're talking to some liberal jerk, right, or some out of control pundit, but not with President Trump, with and Elon too, but especially with President Trump. So, those are just a few thoughts, but I think the major mistake Fox made with that interview is that they did it last week, and it was the questions that Hannity asked they were bland, vanilla questions. Bland, vanilla questions. That's what it's nothing against President Trump or Elon Musk. They're always good. But I think he asked very bland, generic questions. Now, before we break, I do want to hear your thoughts and analysis on Hannity's performance in that interview and the interview itself at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. But I want to add something. Hannity lives here. He lives in Palm Beach. And there are people who listen to this program who know Sean Hannity. So when you call in today, keep in mind that what you say, including what I just said, and we'll say, very well could be heard by Sean Hannity himself, or at least someone in his immediate circle of friends, all right? Just so you know. So maybe I'll give you a little incentive or disincentive, I don't know, but keep that in mind, and maybe it's your kind of opportunity to let Sean know what you think about his interview style, okay? All right, we'll take our first break of the day. My name is Brian Craig. This is The Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after this. I'm texting with Mike. There's a delay between me and the radio station. So Mike and I were trying to figure out the time. They want to install some new equipment here at home for me. So, I can hear what's playing on the air in the commercial breaks, but I really don't want to do that because it's just more equipment and more technical stuff, and I don't want to have that. So I want to keep it as lean as I can on my end. So we think the delay is about 16 seconds. We're going to find out now. Stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. I want to remind those of you that are going on our cruise, I want to give you a heads up. Call Ian today. We leave March 30th for our week-long 6th Steve Kane, Brian Craig, MAGA cruise. This would be like our 8th if it wasn't for all the lockdowns and everything. But we have 3 shore excursions. One of them only has like 1 spot left. Another one only has a couple spots left, and the one after that's filling up too. So you want to call Ian, and he will get you hooked up on these excursions. We have, we sold out months ago. So this is a large group, larger than we expected, and I'm so excited too because we're going to party like it's 1999 for a week with our MAGA brothers and sisters on the cruise. But you don't want to get left out and miss the excursions. The shore excursions are the most exciting and memorable part of the cruise. And if you miss out on the shore excursions, you will be disappointed. So call Ian today and get booked on those because, like I say, one has only 1 spot left, another only like a couple, and the third is also filling up. So give Ian a call. I don't have to give out the number because you're already booked on the cruise, and you just have to call Ian and he'll set you up. And I go on all those excursions with you, by the way, and they're the highlight of the cruise, very memorable. And on all of our cruises, what I remember more than anything are the shore excursions. That's when we really, hang out and really have a good time together. Okay, and you will not want to miss them. All right, let's go to the phones talking about the Hannity interview with the president and Elon last night. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning to you this morning.
Hey.
May I say something real quick? I didn't realize yesterday Rush Limbaugh was dead 4 years. It was at his anniversary.
Yeah.
It was also my father's, and it hit me pretty good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yesterday. I'm sorry to hear that. Wow.
Yeah, well, my father's gone 52 years already.
Oh, 52 years. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. He died just before the big Secretariat horse race. And he loved horses. All right, now here's the thing. You talked about Hannity. You're 100% right, man. I mean, you're a professional broadcaster, so you know the ins and outs. President Trump moves so fast. Whatever he says this morning, tonight will be old news.
That's right.
How the heck are you going to have an interview? How are you going to have an interview 4 days before it airs?
You don't do it. Now again, I'm not a big shot like Hannity, making the $50 million a year and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I'm not, But what I would do is this. Okay, I got the interview. It's a big interview to have him and Elon together. That's historic. I would go to Fox management and say, this is a special event. Okay. This is the time they gave me. He's the president, so you got to go by his schedule. This is the time he gave me. I'm going to do the interview, and I want it to air 2 hours later as a special report on Fox, no matter what day it is. And we're going to promote. That's how you do it.
100%.
You got to give 2 hours, so they got time to edit. But that's what you do. You don't do this 4 days later and have out of date, very generic, vanilla questions.
Yeah, I mean. It's like the good housekeeping. What did you do, Elon? How did you start your first company? I mean, it was like, It was sad.
Well, like as an example, like if I were talking to Elon Musk, one of the things I would say to Elon is this. They keep talking about how you're some kind of security risk. This is just off the top of my head while you're talking. This is, I haven't crafted what my interview questions would be. But I would say, they keep saying in the Democrats that all these things are at risk if you have access to them. As the owner of SpaceX, what level of security clearance do you have from the U.S. government? And he has the highest because, his rockets don't have to go in space. He could go in the computer and have them hit London if he wanted, right? So, and he talks about his security clearance and what he had to go through to get it. And believe me, it's a high one. Not this. It was like an Oprah interview.
Yeah, people worried about their personal information. You have to know that every time you drive your car on the Florida Turnpike with that Sun Pass or whatever you have, they have all your information. Anybody that's got a credit card on file from you, any company that you deal with, that has your information. So, it's just craziness. I want to say something also. I don't know if you know this or not really quick. I understand that President Trump, it was on X, President Trump and Musk put this out, and him, they're going to save, if they save whatever they save, they're going to give back to the taxpayer 20%, which will mean at tax time $5,000 per household.
And by the way, what show brought that up yesterday? Who said that? Who said that yesterday morning? No. Before that story broke, who said that on the air?
You said that?
I talked about it yesterday morning. My wife actually, on my most recent podcast episode with my wife, which was 2 days ago, my wife brought that up, $5,000 or $10,000 a person. She was very specific.
Yeah.
And then my wife gives me a lot of great thoughts, and I shared it on the radio yesterday. And the president and his team just happened to be in Mar-a-Lago in our listening range. So I don't know. Talk about, is that a coincidence? That I brought that up on the radio yesterday, and then later it came up with the same amount.
I think they listen to you. And by the way, $5,000 per household. How can anyone say don't do this? Any taxpayer in this country is going to get and it's going to be a tax-free check. This is coming back.
Now, and in fact, when I brought it up yesterday, I was talking to a caller. Now, again, my wife brought it up on my podcast 2 days ago. She was talking 5,000 or 10,000, and when I brought it up yesterday, I mentioned to a caller. So those of you out there remember, I said George W. Bush did this. It was like a $300 or $600 rebate we got when he gave a tax cut, and I remember it because I owed taxes that year, so they kept it. I didn't get it. They kept it to put towards the taxes I owed. But, and I said 5,000, 10,000, and then boom, this happened yesterday. Maybe it's a coincidence,
but to that money, by the way, you know why?
It's our money. They've been stealing from us.
It's our money. We get ripped off, and this is a payback for money that we got ripped off. And 5,000, I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
Well, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. By the time that $5,000 check comes around, everyone's going to be expecting it now, right? We're all expecting that $5,000 per household. I wish it was per taxpayer, but per household, I'll take the $5,000, and I'll probably buy the. My wife has a car and I have a car. My wife has a new car, 2025. My car is a 2011 Kia Sorento with 150,000 miles.
I know your car. It's like a can. I remember you.
Yeah, it's like a sandy color. Yes, exactly. Yes, and what I'd probably do with the 5,000 is I'd go out and buy myself a new car, which I think I deserve.
Are you ready for this one? You know what just happened to me?
Which shows you how the economy works.
I have a 2017 Nissan Pathfinder with 52,000 miles, and the transmission just went. It's going to cost me $5,500. And I heard this yesterday, and I said, oh my God, this is like a gift from God.
Well, my guess is by the time Doge is done, think about going into the midterm elections and President Trump has given everybody a $5,000 rebate. And you know what? I wouldn't say that'd be the only one because, and by the way, that's just for taxpayers, okay? Just for taxpayers. They're going to find more savings that the government's been stealing by then. We may get a few of these. But now that they put that out yesterday, people are going to be expecting it. So they're gonna. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. They're put on a spot. They and I don't think they care because they know it's gonna happen.
They're talking about doing something. Doge is talking about doing something that I've wanted them to do for years. They're gonna open up Fort Knox and find out if there's any gold in there. And I don't think there is.
Yeah, that's another thing.
I think
they don't know whether it's good. They haven't gotten into that in how many years?
I don't think there's any gold in there. I don't think there's any gold in Fort Knox. And you know why? You know why? You know why I don't think there's gold in Fort Knox? Because I've seen many documentaries on Fort Knox that were official, where they're inside, they're at Fort Knox. I've never seen them show the gold.
No.
So if they had a vault of gold, they would show it.
Well, that'll cause a big rift in this country. The politicians won't know where to run.
Well, it'll show you. Gold will go way up because it'll show you how rare gold is. There's not as much gold as people think.
Absolutely.
But the thing, but there's I got to run. I'm late for the break. But thanks, Richie, for the call. All right, if any of you have any thoughts on the Hannity interview with the president and Elon, they're certainly welcome. 1-888-465-2631. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Now, guys, I want to tell you, my wife made these Trump stickers. They're available on her website. You get, yeah, that's right. You get 2 sheets for $10. 2 sheets for $10. Her website is stickersbythesea.com. Stickersbythesea.com. There's a link in the description of the video. And so you get 2 sheets in a set for $10. But if you buy 2 sets, you get a free Gulf of America sticker that she made too. And these are great. They go on your laptop, your wherever, whatever you want to put them on. They're really good. She made all of these. Stickersbythesea.com. You get 2 sheets of these for $10. And if you buy 2 sets, you get a free Gulf of America sticker. If you go to her website, you'll see it. Stickersbythesea.com. And then, see, there they are, like on a notebook, on a laptop, and then she made this Gulf of America sticker, and that star there shows Mar-a-Lago. And you get that for free when you buy 2 sets of these. Stickersbythesea.com. All right? I'd appreciate it. My wife would too. She worked really hard on these. Stickersbythesea.com. Yes, yes, yes. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, there's a link in the video description, or just go to stickersbythesea.com. Oh, man, we have so much to cover. So much to cover. When we get back, I'm going to get into this woman here who was talking about Social Security. and what they're doing with the illegals. It's pretty good. I don't know who this guy is that interviewed her, though. I found it on Wall Street Apes on Twitter. Pretty crazy. Yeah, if any of you have any thoughts on the interview, you're welcome to call in. I certainly would like to hear your thoughts on it. Oh, yeah, the Tom Homan sticker, that's a pretty cool one. Absolutely. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. It's when, yeah, you got to do it. It's like what I told Richie. If you're interviewing Trump, you do it as a special report. So that interview, you got to do it whenever he has the availability because he's the president of the United States. So you make a deal with Fox that they're going to have a special report and preempt regularly scheduled programming for the interview, and it's got to be within 2 hours of the interview's completion. Really should be within an hour so that it's relevant. That's my view. And he's got the juice to do that. And don't interrupt. He talks to Trump like I talk to some liberal jerk that calls me. You don't interrupt these people. You let Trump do the talking. When he's done, then you ask another question. But I think Hannity had it in his mind that the interview wasn't going to air for like 4 or 5 days, so I think he asked generic questions so it wasn't dated. Big mistake. Big mistake. Okay, we'll be back in about a minute. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, please like the video, guys. When you like the video, that helps a lot. It really does. So if you're already sub, please like the video. Even if you're not sub, like the video if you don't mind. That helps grow the channel. No, stickersbythesea.com. Stickersbythesea.com. It comes right up. Stickersbythesea.com. There's a link in the description of the video as well. All right, stand by. 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. So if you have any thoughts on the Hannity interview with the president and Elon Musk, I certainly would welcome that and your opinions. Am I being too hard on Sean Hannity or not? And another thing too about that, the big takeaway, the big takeaway from that interview is the strong bond they have is beyond Trump and Elon Musk, beyond anything that these leftists are going to be able to break apart. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so there's some other things I want to get into because there is a lot to cover, a lot of news to cover today, and we're going to get right into it. I wanted to play this. This I saw someone named Wall Street Apes on X dropped a clip of an interview who's a woman who's a whistleblower from Social Security. Have any of you seen this interview? Oh my goodness. She's a whistleblower from the Social Security Administration, and she's talking about how the Biden administration was giving illegals Social Security numbers and getting them on Social Security disability for life. Listen, this is nuts. Wow. I know, it's nuts. Wow. Okay. And it goes on for quite some time. I posted that on my X if you want to watch the whole thing. Now, the guy interviewing her, I've never heard of him before. He's a guy by the name of Josh Tolley. If anybody knows who he is, I don't know what his background is. I don't know what his political background is. I don't know. But that's pretty amazing. And that video, which I came across yesterday, has been going viral on X. I don't even know when that was done. I just know the guy's name is Josh Tolley, and she's a Social Security Administration whistleblower, and she gives a lot of very disgusting things. And one of the things, though, and that interview, I don't know if that interview was done recently or 3 or 4 years ago. So if anyone knows the specifics of that, please let me know. I want to give proper credit where credit is due. But what makes that interview, even if that interview was done 10 years ago, what makes it relevant today is one of the biggest scandals that's being investigated as we speak, and that is the story with all these people, 10 million people over the age of 120 that have Social Security numbers. Because one of the things people have been wondering is, are they giving those old Social Security numbers to the illegals? And now what we're finding is that they're just giving them they're generating new Social Security numbers for the illegals. And this backs up something that I've talked about during this Biden regime, and many others have talked about. The reason they get them on Social Security disability is because they also get Medicaid with that, right? The Medicaid is part of the Social Security disability. So they have, which covers everything. And they don't have that plan where you got the deductibles and all that stuff, because they have no income other than their disability. So they got Social Security disability. They've got the Medicare. I mean, think about this. I mean, I tell you guys quite often, I am uninsured. That's what they call self-insured. And it's really by choice. I could go out and buy health insurance. But for someone my age, the way that Obama destroyed the private healthcare industry, I had health insurance until Obama. The monthly premium and the deductibles are so high, I'd have to spend so many thousands of dollars before I got 1 cent of coverage, and we're blessed. We have great sponsors that are in the medical field that treat me, right? We got doctors for pretty much anything that ails me. So, that helps, but they're getting it for free. So not only do they have guaranteed monthly income, it's like an annuity we talk about with Joe Thomas. These illegals have guaranteed income coming to them every month for the rest of their lives. They've got Medicare. They got that Social Security number too. And because they've got that Social Security number, they can apply for other benefits like EBT cards, right? Food stamps, Section 8 housing assistance. And this backs up the great replacement fact, not theory, that the Democrats were up to. They have a class of people that are 100% dependent upon them. And the way that Social Security disability works, if they have kids, they get money every month for each child they have too, So there are people that are listening to me right now that paid into Social Security your entire working life that are receiving Social Security benefits that are less each month than these illegals are getting. So they're setting up they were setting up this entire peasant class to have guaranteed lifetime income, food stamps, free health care. Can you imagine? Right? Section 8 housing, and God knows what else. And the way, I know, it's pretty bad. If you're on hold, stand by. I'll take some more calls after the next break. But it's bad, isn't it? Oh, yeah. It's as bad as it gets. And if the Democrats would have won, and for that matter, even if like Nikki Haley would have become president, that wouldn't have stopped. She would have talked the talk, but it would have continued. This would have gone on for so many years until all of a sudden they were the new majority in this country, and they're 100% dependent on the Democrats for everything. Their housing, their food, their money, their kids, everything, all depended on it. And they'd vote Democrat for the rest of their life. That's what was going on here. Now, one of the things that President Trump is going to do, and he did mention this with Elon in the Hannity interview last night, these illegals getting Social Security is going to be gone. They're going to take it all away. The cuts to Social Security are going to be to these illegals that should not be getting it. They're going to be cut off, as they should. And, you know, it's amazing to me that this, have you seen this on television? And I don't care if this interview's old. It may be 3 or 4 years old. I don't know when it was done. But it's going viral the last, I don't know, about 18 hours on X. So it's new to all of us, even if this is 4 years old. I don't know, it could have been 4 days ago or 4 years ago, but it's new to us. An inside look at what the Biden regime was doing, okay? So this should be all over the news, top, bottom, quarter of the hour. And the Democrats, my entire life, every election, they always talk about saving Social Security. Republicans, you know, that Social Security lockbox. Well, they're giving, how much Social Security are they giving to people that are illegals to our country? My goodness. Now, guys, Tuesday, you are all invited to come meet me at Attorney Barry Siegel's Revocable Living Trust Workshop in Boca at the Spanish River Library. We'll be there at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, okay? And other than the cruise, this is the only appearance I have scheduled all year, and I really hope you guys come out to see me and talk. I'll be there before, I'll stay during and after so we can hang out and talk. And the Spanish River Library, it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. I'm going to give you the number for Barry Siegel's office. If you could call them to let them know you're coming, it's completely free, okay? But if you call ahead, I know all of you won't, but I hope that you do. It lets them know what size room they need and how many chairs they need so everybody has a seat, okay? Sometimes I've gone to these and I've given up my seat to nice people. So just call, let them know you're coming, and they'll give you directions if you needed to. 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. And, of course, the website is SiegelLawGroup.com. So come meet me, Brian Craig, Tuesday at 10 a.m. at the Spanish River Library in Boca with attorney Barry Siegel and his incredible law team there at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. All right, let's go to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes, you're on.
Hi, this is Diana from Springfield, Ohio.
Hey, Diana. And what president is from Springfield, Ohio?
Sorry?
There's a president from Springfield, Ohio, isn't there?
We have, you were talking about the...
yeah, there is.
The Social Security numbers that were being given to illegals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
No, you go ahead. You called me. Yeah, what about the Social Security numbers going to the illegals, yes?
Yep, yeah, so I can attest that that's happening, that's rampant. So all of the Haitians that come in and the Venezuelans that come in to Springfield, Ohio, this is kind of like a processing center. So they keep telling us we have X number of Haitians, but we don't see the decrease. You asked about the decrease maybe a couple months ago, but they just keep coming in. They go to Job and Family Services, get their SSI, their Social Security number, they get processed, and then they move on. But it's a constant revolving door. So that just lends credence to what you said about illegals or legals with TPS getting the Social Security numbers, and that's how.
Now, is this the town where we had all the Haitian controversy months ago?
Yes.
So let me ask you: are you starting to see businesses pop up that all of a sudden have signs in them that say "We take EBT" and stuff? Are you noticing a difference, like in the local economy, to cater to these illegals that have been given all these benefits by Biden?
We've always had businesses that have those signs, and I don't see any more. And I don't see any less of those businesses that accept EBT cards.
Yeah. What
we are seeing is Haitian businesses popping up that cater only to Haitians and not to Americans.
In Miami, we have all these little areas, right? Little Havana, Little Haiti, and everything. And Little Havana is a super cool place, day or night, and it's as safe can be. And you can go down there, you get good food. And I made a really good YouTube video in Little Havana a while back, going to the Cuban bakery that President Trump went to when they arraigned him in that Miami court. He went to that bakery. And I was going to do a video going to Little Haiti. And everyone has told me, do not go to Little Haiti, Brian, not by yourself. Day or night, don't go. It's very dangerous. The crime is very bad. Now, I don't know. That's just what I've been told by people. And by the way, some of those people are Haitians, okay, who have told me not to go to Little Haiti in Miami. So what's the crime? Is there a increase in crime with the illegal Haitians in Springfield, you see, or not?
Well, here's the rub. We can't get that information from our police department.
Yeah, but people know if it's dangerous.
Yes. Well, it basically revolves around domestic violence and revolves around auto accidents.
A lot of auto accidents.
A lot of auto accidents, uninsured drivers, unlicensed drivers that just got their permit and are driving anyway without actually getting a license, because permit in Creole means you're allowed. So
oh my goodness!
They get their permit and think they're allowed to drive. Now, the governor, after the blow-up, pumped some money into Springfield to have driving simulators accessible to the Haitians to help teach them to drive. Well, to them, it's nothing more than a video game. So you still don't get the actual drive time that.
Well, what I'm hoping, the vice president is from Ohio. I'm hoping the vice president will look into Springfield. But the thing about Springfield is there's something about Springfield, Ohio that makes it famous, other than this Haitian thing. There's something historic about it. Is there a president from Springfield? Why do I have that in my mind that Springfield has some historical significance beyond this? Is there a president from there?
Well, it's the governor's manor. The state capital was supposed to be in Springfield.
Yeah.
And Springfield was the terminus for the national road back in the 1800s. And so that's why Springfield was known as the industrial capital of the Midwest.
Oh, yeah. Somebody told me the Simpsons live in Springfield. Maybe that's it. Because, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. So, Ohio, I'm from Ohio. And there's just and I don't watch The Simpsons. Maybe it is The Simpsons. I don't know, but I know there's like 10 presidents from Ohio. There's more presidents from Ohio than any other state. So I just assumed it was that. All right. Well, good to hear from you, and keep us updated on everything Springfield. Okay, let's go. There's something else about Springfield. I'll figure it out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Gary from, I'm currently balls deep in your mom.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Gary again. Yeah, get that, Mike? Oh, my goodness. Isn't that nice? All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian.
Yes?
Hi, good morning. Bob from Pompano Beach.
Hey, Bob, what's up?
Hey, hold on.
Turn down the volume in the back. Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Got a question to ask you. Social Security, this whole thing that Elon Musk is doing and finding and digging and all that. I mean, I'm on Social Security now, and they say that there's going to be delayed because of all this.
Really? What do you mean? What's going to be delayed?
Social Security checks.
To people. No, nothing's going to be delayed. Who said? What are you getting that from? This is so typical of the media and the left. They're always trying to scare people that they're not going to get their Social Security money. Why would it be delayed?
Because of all of his investigations and he may put things
No,
on
that's stuff. I'm sorry to hear you say this, because it shows that their propaganda is having some impact. No, this is a lie they tell. All the money comes from the U.S. Treasury. So, there's no Social Security account. They always talk about the Social Security lockbox. That's a liberal urban legend. It's a myth. It all comes from the U.S. Treasury. Nothing's going to be slowed down. Nothing's going to stop. All the checks are going to be deposited. There's nothing to worry about. They want to try to scare people. They're trying to do everything they can do to panic people against what Elon Musk is doing. But I think though that there's a problem with your cell phone. So maybe they're taking the cell service away. But hey, listen, I appreciate the call, but that's a very troubling call to get, because that's a smart guy. And that means that he's probably watching a little bit of CNN or MSNBC. In the next hour, though, I'm going to get into some more audio sound bites from both the president. President Trump had a great press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, if you saw any of it. And then he was at an event last night with General Flynn. And he said he's offered General Flynn many jobs in this second term, and he's turned them all down. Why do you think that's happened? Do you think General Flynn has turned the jobs down because he doesn't want to tarnish the Trump administration? Because the left would have freakouts over that. Or President Trump was joking around, says he's doing so well that he doesn't want to take the pay cut. I don't know. But I am going to play some audio sound bites from the president yesterday, and his press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday was epic. And there's a few things from that I want to share and talk to you about. You're welcome to call in about the Trump-Elon Musk interview by Sean Hannity last night. I shared all my thoughts about that in the first couple of segments, so I'm not going to go over that again. But you're welcome to call in with your thoughts on it. Just to caps, I was very disappointed in it. I mean, it wasn't Trump's fault or Elon. It's just Hannity did a terrible interview. And they did an interview 4 or 5 days ago. So the questions were very generic, vanilla questions. They weren't really relevant to anything that's happening today. And it was just, Hannity made a lot of mistakes with that interview. And I was so looking forward to that interview. To see the two of them side by side is really historic. Now, I want to tell you guys that the free shipping offer continues at mypillow.com. The mega sale continues with our promo code Kane, and it's free shipping on all orders, no matter how small, no matter how large. There's no minimums on that, and huge deals with our promo code Kane. And one of the biggest discounts they have right now is on the MyPillow mattress toppers, and this is a new discount that they're offering on these. And I got my MyPillow mattress topper. I've been sleeping on the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper for years. And, if you guys follow me online, I don't sleep that much. I go I go about 18 hours a day every day. But those few short hours of sleep I get are so deep and well rested because I'm sleeping on the MyPillow mattress topper. You know, if you have an old mattress that's lumpy, bumpy, maybe it's an uneven mattress and you think you need a new one, get the MyPillow mattress topper. Both the 2 and 3 inch mattress toppers I've slept on. My daughter has the 2-inch mattress topper on her sleeper sofa because so it folds up well in the sleeper sofa. But I have the 3-inch MyPillow mattress topper on my bed at home, and my wife and I have been sleeping on it for years. It attaches to the mattress very easily and it doesn't move, and you will sleep like you've never slept before every night for the rest of your life. New mattresses. This is not an exaggeration. A new mattress costs more money than a lot of the cars I've driven. And those of you that remember me from years ago when I was first starting out, you remember the cars I used to drive? Some of you have been around for a long time, and you know I'm not kidding. So go to MyPillow.com, free shipping as well at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. All right, we're going to take our break. We'll be back with your calls and much, much more. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. We'll be right back. Okay. Mike and I got the delay figured out now. So a little less than 2 minutes and we'll be back. One minute. Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, and we've covered quite a bit today. If you're on hold, stand by. There's a guy who's a Spanish speaker, so I'm not going to play the audio, but it's been translated, so I'm just going to read you what he said. And he works at a Hyundai plant in Georgia, okay? A Hyundai plant in Georgia. And he speaks Spanish, and he talked about what's going on there. So this is the transcript of it. An auto worker in Georgia at the Hyundai electric car plant, the Hyundai EV plant, is reporting that ICE just showed up and hundreds of illegal workers ran away. And he says Hyundai is employing hundreds of illegal workers at their plants. He says 80 to 90% of the group he works with are illegals from Venezuela. He says they're making the electric cars. Today, immigration came and hundreds of people left running and jumping fences. They don't have documents. They do not have legal status. Oh my goodness. I mean, this, the level of the invasion of this country is insane. If you go through history, like right now, right? Putin wants Ukraine. He went about this all wrong. He should have just started sending Russian people to Ukraine to move in, right? And after a few years, before they know it, he's got a big chunk of the population, and then that's it. It's over. This idea that you have to use tanks and armies is rather dated. You just send your people to move to another country, and that's the new way to take over a country. This country was on the verge of being lost forever. Right before, by design, by the leaders of our country, we have been saved from losing our entire country, literally, not figuratively, by the re-election of President Trump. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Hey, man, this is really sad. With all the fraud, waste, and theft that's going on, it has consequences. I'm going into BJ's, and there's a woman sitting there holding her baby on the floor with a sign saying, please help at food or hotel or motel. Rather. So I went over, I said, are you really hungry? She says, yeah. I said, when's the last time you ate? 2 days ago. I said, whoa, all right, I'll go get you something to eat. You like chicken? I was about to say, you want some orange juice or chocolate milk or something for the kid? And all of a sudden, a police officer comes over and says, you can't sit here. I said, listen, you see the sign? Can you take it to a shelter? Oh, okay. So he picked her up, asked her, you want to go to a shelter? She said, yeah. He picked her up and took her to a shelter. Man, this is... Oh,
that's good. Okay, that was a nice story. I'm glad you helped the lady.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
You helped the lady. I thought you were going to tell us that she was a fraud and the cops knew her.
No, just looking at her, you can see she was real. But although there's some good con messages, but I think this one was real. I think if she wasn't real, she wouldn't go to a shelter. She would have told the police, "Oh, I'll leave." But she went in the police car and went to a shelter.
That's sad.
And this is sad, man. In America, I mean, I know that this is all because certain people know how to rob the system, and it's hard for other people to get help. So I'm hoping now everything will change quickly, and this kind of thing you'll never see again.
There's nothing wrong with people who are in need getting help from the government, but that's not the problem. Yeah. People were being brought here by our government and set up in a retirement plan, is what we're finding.
That's really sickening, man. And whoever did that, they need to be prosecuted for doing stuff like that. How dare you bring people here and who not even American?
Well, I'll tell you why this happened. I mean, this is not politically correct, but the country's been run by militant blacks and Hispanics, gays and transgenders that hate the country, and they hate the people in it. They think people look at what happened with Tom Hanks on Saturday Night Live, right? He played the MAGA guy, and he wouldn't shake hands with the black guy. That's what they think we are. Those people have been running the country. So they think they're saving the country by replacing they think we're Klansmen, which is insane. Kash Patel, do you think the Klan would approve of Kash Patel? Look at him. I mean, come on, he's not white if you haven't noticed. But they think that they're making the country better ridding it of a majority of racist Klans people, because that's how they view us.
And the second to these people, they really think this stuff, because I was talking to a liberal who was going. By the way,
I got a question. I was going to bring this up, and since you're here, I'll ask you, and I'm going to throw this out. This is for everyone in the audience. You know that Delta crash in Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay. And they got that new video yesterday. That plane was coming down. Whoever was flying that plane wasn't very good. I mean, they were coming down super fast. They basically crashed the plane on impact, and it's a miracle that no one's died. But surprisingly, there's something I've looked for this. Now, maybe you have the answer, or somebody in the audience has the answer. Have you heard anything about the crew of that plane? I've seen the one flight attendant that's helping people out the doors. Leave everything behind. She sounds like Roz, they call. She's that one flight attendant. But have you heard anything about who was flying that plane?
Actually, yes, I saw somebody, and I think it was the captain. But
no, you have not seen the captain of that Delta plane. We saw the captain of the plane that went down in D.C., but not the one in Toronto. And have any of you noticed that? Now, Delta is known as DEI Air, okay? And in fact, that's one of the airlines that said no matter what, they're going to keep their DEI in effect. So does anyone know who the pilot and co-pilot of that plane was? Have you seen that in the story? Maybe they're white guys, maybe they're women. I don't know. But I haven't seen, I've seen a lot of stories on this, and I watched interviews with a couple of the guys that survived the crash, but I haven't seen them talk about the pilot. We were talking about Captain Sully the other day because Tom Hanks played him in the movie. And when that plane went down, immediately they were telling us who was flying it. And the DC crash, they immediately told us who was flying it. And I'm wondering if it was women. I don't know. They haven't identified. And this is why I'm asking you this. Because I'm watching all these interviews on every channel, including Fox, and they're interviewing aviation experts and pilots. And what I'm wondering is, was the plane being flown by a woman, and would a woman not have the strength to get control of the aircraft in those conditions? Does it take a lot of physical strength on the controls in a situation like that? I don't know. It could have been two white guys, pilot and co-pilot. But I find it odd that a couple days later, with all the coverage, we haven't seen anything about the crew, except the woman that has that Roz voice, the flight attendant. Leave all your stuff behind. Get out the door. She sounded like Larry King. But I haven't seen anything about the crew. And there's a video that they put out, Delta, before the crash, obviously, bragging about how they have no men. So I'm just wondering, and if they were women, that means these two recent god-awful crashes were the fault of women, because the helicopter was flown by a woman that we've heard very little about. So I'm asking you guys, if you've seen identified in the press, and if you have, when you call in to tell me where I can find it. If it was two guys, I'm fine. That's good. Let's get it out there. I'm not trying to spread misinformation. But I find the fact that a couple of days after the crash, and that's a very unusual crash too, never seen anything like that before, that they haven't told us who and they're interviewing all these people from the plane, but they're not interviewing the crew from DEI Air, which is Delta. So if anybody has any intel on that, please let me know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Joe from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Hey, Joe, what's up?
I'm just talking, I have a few family members that was on that plane.
Oh, please. You have a few family members? Really? Give me a break. That light that was blinking next to me, that's a new light they put in, the BS meter. Save me some time. It's a new AI. Okay, it's 14 minutes after. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. 90 seconds. We'll be back, guys. 90 seconds. 1 minute. Now, guys, my wife has made these really super cool Trump stickers, which you can get on her website, stickersbythesea.com. There's a link in the description of the video, stickersbythesea.com. You get 2 sheets of these for $10. A set's 2 sheets. You get 2 sheets for $10. Stickersbythesea.com. There's a link in the description of the video. And if you buy 2 sets, you get a free Gulf of America sticker. Those are the stickers, and they fit, you know, in the Gulf of America. You see that star? That's Mar-a-Lago is marked on it. So you get your Gulf of America sticker for free when you buy 2 sets. Stickersbythesea.com. There's a link in the description of the video. If you're on hold, stand by. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Call us on hold, stand by. So a couple things just to recap what we've been talking about today. I was sharing my thoughts on the Hannity interview with the president and Elon at the top of the show. Your thoughts are welcome on that because I know most of you probably saw it. I think Hannity did maybe the worst interview I've ever seen him do. It was just, you know how difficult it is to mess up an interview with President Trump and Elon Musk side by side, but he blew it, in my opinion. But your thoughts and reviews are welcome. Now, before the break, though, I was talking about the Delta plane crash in Toronto, and I don't know who was flying the plane. So has anyone seen a story identifying the pilots? And if so, tell me who they are and where I can verify that. Delta was very, very vocal that they are not going to do away with their DEI policies. And they released a video that has gone viral, especially since the crash, but it went viral when they first did it, of there's no men on the planes. You know, remember that song, It's Raining Men? It's like the opposite. There's no men. And I just find it odd that we're a couple days after not just a plane crash, but a very unusual crash. There was an explosion, there's fire, it turned upside down, no one's died, and they haven't identified the pilots. So if anyone knows and has a story that I can look up and verify, please let me know. But I'm wondering if that plane was flown by DEI pilots. It came in so fast and hard, and I'm wondering is it possible there was a female pilot that wasn't strong enough to get control of the aircraft in a situation like that? I don't know. It could have been 2 guys that have 30 years of experience flying in the Air Force and Navy. But I just find it odd that they have not identified the pilots yet. In fact, they seem to be going out of their way not to identify because I haven't heard anybody ask. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'd rather remain anonymous. That's my dog.
All right.
I just started listening to the show just in the last few nights. I had trouble sleeping and woke up early.
Okay, welcome.
I've been hacked over 1,000 times.
Okay.
And I want to get on the radio.
Well, you're on the radio now. Why'd you call me?
I need to block my voice. I don't want to give my name.
All right, well, fine. Tell me why you called. What do you want to talk about other than you?
Because, pay by minute, like cricket or stuff like that. Because
listen. The call. I'm gonna hang up on you because you got nothing to say. All right, goodbye. Lunatic, a crazy person. Oh my goodness. All right, so my favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite in Trump's orbit, but you know who I really love and enjoy hearing speaking is Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller is one of the smartest people I've ever seen that's a conservative talk about issues. He has a lot of stage presence too. He commands whatever room he's in. He's always spot on, and he's unapologetic. And he was on CNN yesterday. Listen. You know, it's amazing to me as this continues to go on with the left that they just can't get themselves to be even pretend to be bothered that it's you know, the number I use is a fictitious number, but there's quadrillions of dollars that are being stolen from the taxpayers, quadrillions of dollars. And President Trump, in the interview last night with Elon Musk on Hannity, you know, Hannity said, how much are you going to find? Even though they're finding billions and billions, right? They think they're going to find $1 trillion or a future. And President Trump says, we're going to probably find 1% of it. That's it, just 1%. That's how much there is going on. Now, later, I might play a clip of this later after the bottom of the hour break, but President Trump at the Mar-a-Lago press conference was going through some of the things they found, just small. You could do a 24-hour nonstop reading of the things they're finding and go on for weeks and probably not get to it. It's all absurd. And he says, this is fraud. This is fraud. And all these expenditures for these things around the world and these stupid programs, the money's not really going to that. It's going to individuals somewhere. It's theft. It's fraud. It's money laundering. And, you know, President Trump, when he was at his press conference yesterday, was reading through that list I read to you guys a couple days ago of the ages of the people on Social Security. Now, they're saying there's about 10 million active Social Security people, 10 million over the age of 120. That's impossible. Everybody knows it. And they're trying to find out if, President Trump said they're looking to see if payments are being made. And if so, who's getting them and for how long? What's going on here? There's another thing President Trump talked about these government contracts. They hire somebody to do a contract that's like for 3 months and then they pay them forever for 20 years. The people that are receiving those monies for 20 years know it was only a 3-month job and they're still taking the money. This is fraud, and some of these people will be arrested. Now, tomorrow, we're expecting Kash Patel to be confirmed. And when we have our FBI director in place, maybe then Pam Bondi will start rounding people up. But there's a lot of low-hanging fruit of people you can go after. As an example, they're tracking down these Social Security numbers to find out if people are fraudulently getting payments for these people that are 200 years old, as an example. Because, you know, the people that are getting paid from these contracts that were supposed to be a couple of months that they've been getting paid for 20 years. You know, these are people that are easy to track down. And some of these people need to be brought in with high-profile arrest with perp walks. And you know what? Maybe even offer deals, because there's a criminal organized enterprise going on. And you start bringing these people in, you get an inside look at how it works. Now, I want to remind you all that Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., I'll be joining Attorney Barry Siegel and the Siegel Law Group in Boca for the Revocable Living Trust workshop at the Spanish River Library. When I get off the air on Tuesday, I'm leaving the studio and heading right there, and you are all invited. And I hope you all come and join me there, the Spanish River Library in Boca at 10 a.m. Attorney Barry Siegel will be there for his workshop, and I look forward to meeting you all there. Now, if you could call ahead and let the Barry Siegel know you're coming. It's completely free, but if you call ahead, they know how many chairs they need and how big of a room that helps, okay? So the number is 855-FLA-3782, 855-FLA-3782. I've not been to one of Attorney Barry Siegel's workshops in a long, long time, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting you there. Spanish River Library in Boca, 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. Come meet me, Brian Craig, all right? I'd appreciate that. Come out and support the show and the Siegel Law Group. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'll take a call or two before I bring up anything new. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian.
Yeah. Yes, you're on the air.
Brian, this is Jeff from Boynton Beach.
Hey, Jeff, what's up?
I wanted to explain to am I on the air right now?
You are indeed. Yes, yes.
Okay, I wanted to explain to you something about the pilots of the Delta flight. Doesn't matter whether they're male or female. They're represented by the Alpha Pilots Union. And immediately when you have an accident or an incident, you're protected through the union. Immediately they will make a phone call and call a phone number, and immediately they get representation.
No. Slow down. Yeah.
So you won't know whether
No,
they're
that's
male,
BS.
female,
That's B. Hold on. Slow down. When that plane crashed in D.C., before we knew everyone was dead, we knew who the pilots were. When Captain Sully landed in New York in the water, we knew who he was before they were off the wing. Okay, and the media know. They have people there, and they're suppressing this. Now, I don't know if they were women or men or whatever, but I know that if they are female, it's significant because that crash in D.C. was caused by the incompetence of a female pilot. So if we had two crashes back to back that were pretty significant by DEI pilots, that's significant news. The media don't want us to know. I've never seen a crash where we didn't know in the press who the pilots were. Never seen it before. We always know.
Okay, well that could be true, and I don't know how long the time frame before they knew exactly who the pilots
well, let me tell you
were.
me tell you the significance. When I was like in middle school and high school, like in the 80s, there were a lot of plane crashes. Sometimes there were hijackings too, right? But there were a lot of plane crashes. It wasn't, and we haven't really had plane crashes from commercial airlines all that often for years. I don't know why, the technology, I don't know, but we haven't had plane crashes of commercial passenger jets very often for many years that are American or Canadian planes. And now we got this DEI didn't earn it that the airlines and Delta in particular brag about, and we get two crashes. The first one was caused by a woman, the lady helicopter pilot from that crash. And I think that it is the hook of the news story is, were these DEI pilots on that plane in Toronto, and this idea that their identities are hidden. I've never seen identities withheld like this before. Nope. The first one, it took a while to get. The family of the lady helicopter pilot wouldn't let the name be released. Now this, come on, something's up.
Right. I don't understand that one either. They got it withheld quickly, and that could be the same case with the. I just know that they do call a hotline, and they're immediately.
Well, yeah, of course they have representation, but the press
they may not want their names.
Where did you say you're calling? Well, it doesn't matter what they want. It doesn't matter. The press have a duty. Where are you calling me from again?
Boynton Beach.
How long have you lived in South Florida?
I've lived here for over 30 years.
Okay,
now.
good. Okay, good. So you remember ValueJet's crash in the Everglades? Do you remember that?
I do.
Female pilot. It hit going the speed of sound. And this is what I'm wondering. Okay, are a couple things. Is DEI in play here? That's one. Was DEI in play with the DC crash? And in an instance like that, I'm not a pilot. I don't know, okay? And I told you guys, I'm afraid to fly. I made a YouTube video. I took off at 6 in the morning. I went to the airport lounge at 5 a.m. and had screwdrivers. I've always been afraid to fly, and I drink before I fly, because every time I get on a plane, I'm not kidding, I assume I'm going to die, and I pray, okay? I do. I don't like to fly since 9/11, okay? And what I'm wondering is, at the rate of speed that this plane came down in Toronto, is it possible that a woman pilot wouldn't have the physical strength in a situation like that to gain control of the aircraft? Because they hit hard and fast. That was not a controlled crash landing.
Well, if he or she or whoever it was coming down at a high rate of descent, no matter, if they didn't recognize it in time to be able to correct that condition.
Yeah, but Delta recently,
could be hard to do.
Delta recently, well, of course it's hard to do. Delta recently put out a video. It's all over the internet of Delta bragging about their DEI. They made a little video, and there were no men, anywhere on the aircraft. And I've never, and I'm also interested. We've seen one flight attendant helping people out. All right, leave your stuff behind. She's got a very deep voice. She sounds like Larry King. And I'm just wondering if this was a DEI flight.
Well, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the DEI. I know, and I don't really. I'm not judging it by DEI. But one thing I can say, and I can tell you that over the last many years, there has been quite a substantial pilot shortage, and they've gone into hiring lower time pilots into before they get.
See, when I fly, I don't fly.
Jets,
I don't fly that much because I'm terrified of flying. I'm sorry, I'm not afraid to admit it. I haven't flown sober except for one time since 9/11, and because I was flying with my daughter when she was little, and I didn't want to be tanked with my daughter on the plane, and I was terrified. All I could think about, and I remember once I flew. Remember the 9/11 report that Congress put out? I went to I was at the airport store outside at the terminal, and I bought the 9/11 report, and I said, "Oh, I'll read this." So we take off. I'm reading it, and it's all about the crashes and the hijackings. I'm like, what do they sell? I mean, what is this? This is nuts. They're going to show movies about plane crashes? It was like a scene out of Airplane. But listen, typically American airlines, U.S.-based airlines, as well as Australia, the U.K., and Israel, and a handful of other major countries, you could always rest assured on a major airline that probably the pilot has military training from that country. And I always felt safer with that. But now, you get these pilots, they haven't flown in the military, they take flight lessons down at the airport. Forget that. And so if DEI is in play here, I think we have a right to know. And is DEI making our skies less safe? There's no one could tell me that lady helicopter pilot was not a DEI. She didn't know what the heck she was doing. She didn't know what altitude she was at. She was at the wrong altitude. She killed all those people. So and I've never seen a crash where the pilots were not identified, even when they survived. Not like this. I'm sorry. It could have been two white guys up there. I don't know. They could have been in the military flying for 15 years, 20 years. But to me, it seems like the media are going out of their way not to share the identity of the pilots. You don't agree, though?
Okay.
And there's one other thing that I can explain to you, that military pilots are very good pilots. They're very well trained.
That's right.
They're smart. They're very well educated. But if you get a commuter pilot in a jet like that, that's flying day in and day out of the weather up in the Northeast, the Midwest, they are very skilled pilots. As long as they have some time.
The military pilots, the way that it used to, the military pilots, they train on how to take a plane like that out of a full stall in flight. Okay? These people that learn down at your local airport, that are getting their pilot's licenses, you don't want to put your life in their hands. I'm sorry, I don't. I that's just me. And I mean, I think the public has a right to know about both of these crashes if DEI was in play.
Well, we'll eventually find out, because there'll be an investigation, and the investigation.
Well, like I'll tell you, when I flew recently to California, I could have gotten not only a Delta flight cheaper, okay, I could have gotten like the business and first class, and I didn't fly it because of this DEI stuff. I flew JetBlue because Delta's been bragging about their DEI program, and I got to tell you something. if you put on the side of an aircraft, this plane is proudly flown by DEI pilots, would you get on it?
It's not only Delta, my friend. It's all of them there.
I don't know if it's all of them, but Delta likes to brag about it. Delta's been bragging about it. All right, appreciate the call. Delta's been bragging about it, which is a lunacy. All right, listen. We're going to take our last break of the second hour. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. My name's Brian Craig. We'll be right back. One minute. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Sorry I didn't make it back quite in time, guys. I stepped away and didn't make it back in time. I lost track of time. Okay, we got a lot to cover. If anybody, I was looking during the break, and this is why I lost track of time. I was looking during the break for any information identifying those pilots and the updates, and I went through a few stories, could find nothing. So if anybody has any intel. Okay, so Mayor Adams, they're trying to push out Mayor Adams. And remember Rush used to talk about on television these accidental cases of journalism would occur when actual news was broken by the mainstream media. John Roberts, who's he used to be the White House press correspondent for Fox. Now he's on during the day, and he's quite a bore. No matter what the story is, he finds a way to make it about himself. But this is one of those incidents of accidental journalism that Rush used to talk about. He's interviewing this Democrat New York City councilman. His name's Robert Holden. And he's talking about what did the mayor do, the mayor of New York, What did the mayor do that has them wanting to remove him? Listen. Oh my good, really? I thought they were getting rid of him because he was accused of some financial issues. No, he met with Tom Homan, and a message must be sent. That's it. That's why they're getting rid of him. I mean, my goodness, can you believe? I'm glad to hear that, and I'm glad that the guy's a Democrat that's sharing it. You know, because this is something we knew because he was cooperating with Trump. But to hear a New York councilman, a Democrat, admit it, that gives all the credibility we need to the whole story, and that's what's going on here. The people think, well, maybe New York's woken up. I don't know. So many people left up north during the shutdown and lockdown period. I don't know how many Republicans or people that are fed up are left in New York City. I don't know. But the state of New York, obviously, and the city in particular, is incredibly corrupt. I mean, that $59 million that was sent to New York from FEMA last week, it tells you everything. And these people aren't getting their money, so they're freaking out. Okay, now these peace talks to end the war in Ukraine are going incredibly well. The delegation in Saudi Arabia was led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, one of South Florida's own. We're very proud of him here in South Florida. And Marco Rubio did a great job. And I'm so happy that they did not have Zelensky with them, aren't you? That was the best. And they said they were very productive. They had a very long meeting. The Russians, they have a demand, and the president backed this up at the press conference yesterday at Mar-a-Lago. The Russians want to have an election and president in Ukraine as a condition of peace. And President Trump was talking about that yesterday. He said that Zelensky's passed his term. They got martial law. They got a dictatorship going on. President Trump talked about this. And I noticed with that, and then after J.D. Vance's incredible Munich conference speech last week, when he's talking to all the NATO people and saying, why are we allied now? What is our shared goal that we're allied with? Right. And I saw some articles today. The left's newest thing is that Trump is working to ally the United States, not with the NATO nations, but with Russia. So, yeah, what's wrong with that? What has Russia done to us? What has Russia done to us? Who is doing more to hurt the United States? This is a serious question. Who's doing more to hurt the United States? Europe, the NATO countries, or Russia? And I'd say NATO. They're stealing from us by not paying their NATO dues. The president talks about this. They have these insane import taxes on our goods. We're funding over $800 billion a year to fund NATO, and they're paying peanuts. So, no, Russia is not the enemy of the United States. It may be the enemy of Ukraine, I get that, but they're not the enemy of the United States. In fact, I don't even know if they're the enemy of Europe, since President Trump often points out that Germany gets natural gas and other things from Russia. So, yeah, we should be allied with Russia. If we were allied with Russia, a lot of these things like this would not be happening. Why do you think Russia has a permanent seat on the Security Council at the UN? Because we were allies and we defeated the Nazis together. Us on one side, them on the other. Okay? We defeated the Nazis together. So what's going on now? And, Europe is lost. I want to play this audio. Have you seen this audio of this school kid from England? Now, he's got an English accent, but he's a young English kid. I don't know. 12 to 15, somewhere between 12 and 15. And, England is fallen. England is now an Islamic kingdom. And he's talking about what it's like in his school. Now, he's got an English accent, but very powerful. Listen. Okay, so here, I know the audio is not that great, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's pretty powerful stuff. You got, on top of his accent. So England has fallen. It's gone, and not only is it gone, it's not coming back. These stories I was talking about today, where they, the whistleblower from Social Security was talking about how they were giving Social Security numbers to the illegals as they came in and getting them on lifetime Social Security disability and other benefits. They were trying to do in America what they've been successful doing in the UK, and now they're trying to also do that in all the other countries. And the only country in Europe that I can truly say is a friend and ally of the United States is Italy, because their prime minister, she's kind of like MAGA Europe over there, standing up against the illegals and deporting all of them and not allowing it to happen. But the rest of Europe has fallen. And is at different states of falling, and they're losing their culture in England. I mentioned last week there was a mother, I always forget if it's Scotland or Ireland, I think it was Scotland. Her daughter was the only non-Muslim in her kindergarten class over there in the UK. So Europe's lost. We have zero shared goals with them. They just view us as a money pit that's sending them unlimited monies, and that they're ripping us off with the import taxes. So no, these peace talks with Russia over the Ukraine war, I hope that they end in an alliance between the United States and Russia. Russia has a lot of connections to countries that aren't really that friendly to us, like Iran and North Korea. And an alliance with Russia could help us with those problem places too. We should not even be in NATO anymore. We should withdraw from NATO. We should not send them 10 cents. Okay, we've been paying all the dues for all this time, except for those couple of years with Trump, when he got them to pay. They haven't been paying for 50 years. So if we stop paying now, how many years would it be until they made up with what they've ripped off from us? No, we should not be paying 10 cents to NATO. They should be funding everything. We've paid enough. People are sick of it. All these things that Doge are finding out on top of the things we already know, like this with NATO, people are fed up. And you know what? They should be fed up. People work very hard. The government takes our tax money, and look what they're doing with it. People are fed up with it. And I was very proud of Marco Rubio when I saw him. He had a little press conference there at the table. It was very brief. At the end of the talks with Russia, and it is appropriate for Zelensky not to be there. Zelensky would just enrage everybody and probably cause an escalation, really. And President Trump talked yesterday about how Ukraine is wiped out except for Kiev. They left Kiev alone, but the rest of the cities are destroyed, worse than Gaza, he said in some instances. And I don't know why we're not seeing that on television, other than the media don't want to show us how bad it is, because then they think people would demand peace, and they don't want the war to end because the military-industrial complex. Now, I want to tell you guys, those of you that are going on our cruise, remember, we're leaving March 30th. It's our 6th annual cruise with Steve Kane and myself, our MAGA cruise. And the cruise has been sold out for a couple of months, so there's no cabins available. But those of you that are already booked, I was meeting with Ian yesterday, because we are setting up the dining arrangements, where everyone's sitting in the dining room, which is the most complex part of the entire cruise planning is setting up dining, because we dine together every night, so we have to set up the dining, and that's the most difficult and time-consuming part of the entire cruise. But Ian told me something that I was a little surprised about. He called me on the air last week, and we were telling you guys to sign up for the shore excursions. We have 3 shore excursions, 1 in each port. One of them only has 1 spot left. Another only has 2 spots left, and the third is filling up quick. And I want to tell you guys that if you have not signed up for the shore excursions, to call Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot. I'm not even going to give out the number because you already have Ian's number. You've talked to him because you're going on our cruise. The shore excursions are the highlight of all of our cruises, guys. Okay, this is what we remember. I mentioned this to you when I talk to Ian and we're planning the cruises, and he'll say, "Oh, we did something on another cruise. We want to do that again, or we don't want to do it." I'll say, which excursion was that? And he tells me which excursion, then I know which of the 6 cruises it was. That's how, because it's the highlight. I go on all the excursions with you. We hang out all day. It's a great time, but I don't want you guys to miss out. This is our largest group we've had. We've never sold out this early. So usually the shore excursions don't sell out as quickly as they are. You don't want to miss the shore excursions. So if you've not booked on the 3 shore excursions, call Ian today and get on them, because they're going to fill up. And if you're already booked, call him and make sure. I don't want anyone left out. Give Ian at Cruise and Travel Depot a call. All right, it's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number, 888-465-2631. We'll take our break. We'll come back for the third and final hour and your calls after this. Don't go anywhere. Hey, what's up? Okay, we're going to be on in 2 minutes, so you'll hear music, but when you hear me, did you see the Trump interview last night with Hannity? Okay, all right, we should talk about that. I was talking about it earlier. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold. When next time you hear me, we'll be on the air. All right, hold on. That's Steve. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Hour number 3 has begun. Steve Kane, you with us? Steve, you're on. Let me try Steve again. Hold on. I lost Steve there. Steve, you're on. You with us, Steve?
I am here. How are you today?
All right. You haven't been with us for a while, so we're doing a proof of life today. This is a proof of life show. Steve's still with us. People were asking me, where's Steve been? You were just off for a few days. Did you see the Hannity interview with President Trump and Elon Musk?
Yes, I did.
Well, what was your thoughts on that?
I don't know. It sounds almost too good to be true. It sounds like everything we've dreamed of. It sounds like we're going to get our country back.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a little skeptical. I'm a kind of a show me person, but
yeah.
It seems to be moving ahead. What do you think?
Well, Trump and Elon Musk are always great, but I thought Hannity did a rotten job. I thought it was one of the worst interviews he's ever done. Sean Hannity.
Well, it's the problem. He's the wrong man for that interview.
Yeah.
Because all Hannity knows is about talking about himself.
Yes.
And when he's got an interview where people are interested in hearing what the guest has to say, the guest doesn't stand a chance. Hannity's always talking over him.
Well, the thing with Hannity with these interviews, and this is what I'll throw this out. If you in the audience have any thoughts on this, we're talking about specifically Hannity right now, okay? And the way Hannity, his ego has gotten out of control. He never used to be this way. He used to be like a really nice, everyday, humble guy, and he seems very full of himself the last few years. And when he does these interviews, it seems to me that he's doing two things. One, he's always trying to impress Trump for some reason.
Yes.
He's trying to impress Trump, which is insane. And the other thing he does, and this is one of the things you told me long ago, is radio death. And it translates on television too. He's trying to teach the audience all the time. So he has whatever the news cycle is, he has this list of things that he's got to go down to teach by repetition to the audience because he thinks that
and
the
he
audience
talks down to his audience too.
Yeah, yeah. And another thing Fox did with that interview that I think was a very bad programming decision. That interview was done like 4 or 5 days ago. And I thought the questions were very vanilla, generic questions. And when you're doing the news cycle right now, my estimate is about 6 hours, maybe 12 if you get lucky, because things are moving so fast with President Trump. And most of the questions that Hannity had asked, I've seen Trump ask and answer a few times in the last couple of days, including one question that Hannity asked that I've seen Trump ask 3 or 4 times, including in the Mar-a-Lago press conference yesterday that was before the interview aired. If there's any conflicts of interest with what Doge finds in Elon's companies, will he step aside for that? I mean, so when you do an interview with Trump like that, it has to air the day of, not 4 days later, or it's kind of dated, and and he's been asked and answered all those questions already. So I thought Hannity, he had an interview which could have been the most exciting, historic interview ever. I've never seen a president of the United States do a side-by-side interview with anyone other than their wives. And to have somebody like that, who coincidentally is the richest man in the world, and he blew it.
Yeah, he is disappointing. I mean, there was no question of it.
Yeah, well...
The interview, he's just not a great interviewer.
No, he sucks.
That simple, really.
Yeah. Now you were off the last couple days, and but you're back, and I did talk about this a little bit yesterday, but I wanted to bring it up with you because Monday, which was President's Day, was 4 years since the passing of Rush Limbaugh, and I know, it's so sad. And someone called yesterday who was in tears talking about Rush. I tell you, we could use Rush these days to give analysis of what's going on.
That's for sure.
Oh my goodness! I mean, this is, what this Doge is finding and cutting and finding out is some of the. I think what they're finding out is the biggest financial scandals in history, and the biggest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it's anything on the scale that they're talking it seems to me they're talking about. There's never been anything like it.
Like as an example, the biggest thing that, and this wasn't brought up in the Hannity interview because the interview was 4 days ago, and this didn't break until after the interview was pre-recorded. Over the weekend, and I went through this on Monday, but like I said, you've been off a couple days, and this is a big story, and it continues to develop because President Trump went over this list at the Mar-a-Lago press conference yesterday afternoon, and at Mar-a-Lago they got rid of the echo during the press conference. It was perfect sound. I don't know how they did that. That's pretty cool technically. There were 10 million people on the Social Security rolls over the age of 120, some over 300 years old. And Trump read through this list, 10 million over the age of 120. And Trump has ordered an investigation to find out if the checks are going out to these people that are over.
Today they'll probably get a lot of that information.
It's been 2 days. They haven't gotten it yet. But
they spent half the time in court, so they didn't have material to work with until the court ruled in their favor.
Well, then we found out that one of the judges, both judges are getting money from the corrupt government deals, right? One of the judges, his wife has a company, or has a company, a charitable foundation for hungry children in Ethiopia that she gets millions of dollars a year from USAID. The other judge is getting tens of millions of dollars in government funding for his NGO. Okay, so the judges have been exposed, but those people, the 10 million over age 120 that are getting this on the Social Security doles, when that story first dropped, it was in the Monday morning news cycle. They said, they died so long ago, there were no computers then, so they didn't get taken all.
Right.
Well, but then later in the day on Monday, the acting Social Security administrator, who's a holdover from Biden, unexpectedly quit and retired from government. And she's been a government worker for 32 years. So she didn't quit.
What did that tell you? That
somebody's getting that money. And whoever's getting it, we don't know. But I don't know. But there's these 10 million over the age of 120. That money's going somewhere. And if they start from the oldest, which are over 300, because there's fewer of those years old, older than the country itself, those are probably the easiest ones to track, because there's so few. Where is their money being sent out? Where's it going? Is it a check? Is it a direct deposit?
That's what they're looking at. In my understanding, and I'm not sure I have it 100% right, but my understanding from what I'm seeing is that's what it's going to be about from here on, is running it back and finding who was collecting funds that they weren't entitled to.
Yeah.
And the checks keep coming, and the checks kept coming, and they didn't...
well, not only would those people be dead, their families would be dead too. They're just too old. I mean, most people, this is a sad thing. I mean, you've got you've got more kids than Elon Musk, right? But most
I relate to him on that.
Yeah, most people are forgotten. They say after 2 generations, your whole line dies off and spreads out. You're forgotten unless you're a special famous person or something. So the monies that are going to the 10 million over 120 years old are not going to their families. It's too long. There's some type of government corruption. Somebody's getting that money, and they're going to find out. I mean, this other thing that Trump was talking about in not the Hannity interview, but the press conference at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, which was much better than the Hannity interview, I got to say. This thing where people get a government contract for 3 months. I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you're painting a building for it. You get a 3-month contract, but they've been paying them for 20 years, and there's a whole bunch of that too. And those people have been there's so much, and they've been collecting that money for 20 years, and I'm sure spending it. And I know there's a lot of financial fraud. So Elon Musk.
What do you think of the idea that I'm trying to think of who it was that launched the idea? But what about giving checks to all the present taxpayers for money that they had paid in.
Well, it's interesting you say that because Elon Musk was talking yesterday that they're talking about that Trump is considering giving every taxpayer, you got to be a taxpayer, okay? You can't be some person sucking off the government. You got to be a taxpayer. Giving each household of taxpayers $5,000. I'll take it. Go buy some gold with it. $5,000. $5,000. But by the time, when that happens, they're going to keep finding more. We may get multiple rebates. They owe us a lot of money. Yeah, that would be on. Could you imagine? We come into the midterms, and right before the midterms, every taxpayer gets a check from Donald Trump for $5,000.
Do you think that's possible?
Yeah. George W. Bush gave us a tax. George W. Bush did tax cuts and gave everybody it was $300 or $600. I don't remember. $300 to $600 a household to taxpayer rebate.
Wouldn't you rather, just as a taxpayer, wouldn't you rather see them take that money and contribute it towards the national debt?
I'd like them to take that money and contribute it towards me. No, no, I don't care about that. No. You don't want to get $5,000 of your tax money back just in a check? Are you kidding?
No, of course, everybody would like a check for $5,000.
Heck yeah.
But also, paying off the money towards the debt has an appeal as well.
I'm worried about my own debt, or maybe I'll buy a new car, or maybe I'll buy some gold. I don't know, but I want the $5,000 myself. No, you can send yours to the debt, Steve. You don't have to. You can send it back and say, apply this to the national debt. But I'm going to take mine.
You don't think that most patriotic Americans would be willing to sacrifice that money towards the debt?
No. Our own, maybe their household debt. People can pay off credit cards, buy cars. No way. No. I want the money myself. You can put yours towards the debt. I don't think your wife would let you. Who would do that? Who would do that? You have to be crazy. You'd have to be like uber rich to say that. No, everybody wants the money themselves. $5,000 to every tax-paying household. That sounds pretty good to me. All right, listen.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the audience feels on that point.
If you're on hold, stand by. If you got any thoughts on anything we brought up since 6 a.m., certainly are welcome at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. We'll take our break and be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show. You back with us, Steve?
I'm with you.
Oh, yeah. I just was reading in the New York Post during the break. Elon Musk found $40 billion in spending just on government-issued credit cards. Oh, man, I'd love to look at those statements.
And one day...
He just found it yesterday. I guess just yesterday. I don't know if they spend $40 billion in a day, but he found yesterday $40 billion in credit cards on spending. I mean, I wonder what they're paying for. Vacations, furniture, massages.
Whatever it is, you don't really think that the powers that be are going to permit him to give that money away.
No. All right, well, let's take some calls. If you're on hold, hang in there. 1-888-465-2631. If I lose you, I'll call you back, Steve. Don't you worry. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Larry. How are you?
All right, Larry, what's on your mind?
Hey, Larry, what's up?
Hi, Steve. Yeah. Hey, with all the money going to those that are here illegally through the Social Security, Disability, and Medicaid, kind of gives you the thought that the states, these sanctuary states, aren't really concerned about the federal government because we're already paying for these people.
Not anymore. At the Mar-a-Lago press conference yesterday, they kept asking Trump, are there going to be any cuts to Social Security? Hannity, I think, brought this up too. He said, only to the illegals that are fraudulently getting it. We're going to cut them all off. So those are all going to be cut off.
Beautiful. And this is where the self-deportation is going to come in. Because they're not going to have the money anymore, and they're just, hopefully, they're just going to start to leave.
Well, what happened? Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Well, the other thing is these sanctuary states that are protecting these people that are here illegally, they're not helping ICE. Well, maybe the plan should change. Hey, we're not just going to go after criminals. We're going to go after the lawn care guy and everybody else. And maybe that'll send the message to the sanctuary cities that maybe you should
you know
stop
what?
protecting
The sanctuary cities, since they're not getting their money from the government anymore, right? Like New York, Trump took back that $59 million that FEMA sent to New York last week. So they don't want the illegals; they want the money that they get for the illegals. So now that the money's being cut off, do the sanctuary cities want to offer sanctuary if they're not getting the payoffs?
Yeah, great point. This is so exciting, but so disgusting at the same time. It's amazing how much. I mean, we're going to probably find out that not only we're not going to be paying taxes anymore, that they're going to probably send us checks every year.
Larry, can I ask you a question? You read the New York Post?
No, sir.
Well, anyway, I'm very curious. They had a picture yesterday of Elon's girlfriend in the New York Post.
Oh, the new baby mama.
I was just wondering, have you seen her?
Yeah, she's the mother of his 13th child, his new baby mama.
Exactly. What did you think of her?
I think she's nuts.
I've seen a picture of her. On the probably one of the news sites on the internet. I'm a married man, so I'm not allowed to say.
No, that picture.
You can have a conversation.
That picture you saw was a glamour shot.
To talk.
Yeah, the picture you saw was a glamour shot. She's about a 3.
Right.
She's about a 3.
Oh, she's not that pretty. The picture flatters her, you're saying.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised the richest man in the world had sex with her. I'm surprised.
Well, the picture, I didn't know about a glamour shot, but when I saw the picture in the Post, that didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. No,
it's very attractive.
Yeah, because that's a glamour shot.
But let me ask you this.
All right, take care, guys. Take care.
Forgetting about our fantasies for the moment.
Your fantasy, maybe.
Since you seem to have followed it, what do you think of the way Elon is treating her?
He's treating her fine. He's treating her fine.
I don't know. The article I read in the New York Post yesterday, he was giving her the brush off. He's got the other woman. He's evidently over.
No. He's got a bunch of. Listen, he's the richest. Hold on, Steve. He's the. Elon is the richest man in the world. The idea that the richest man in the world who's single is going to be faithful is insane. And I think Elon Musk.
Hold on, it's not a question. Is that the hook I saw in this issue is whether he is doing the proper thing from our point of view, whether he's doing the proper thing in fulfilling his responsibilities to this woman. If
She's got. Did you see her apartment?
You still have responsibility.
She's got a fancy New York City high-rise apartment and a security detail.
That's cool.
And a security detail.
That's part of it. That's good. It's a start, but I mean, I don't think she has to live in ultimate luxury, but I think the way he's handled it with the press doesn't make him look good.
He's like, oh, I think he looks. This is what Elon Musk is doing. Okay, he is a far above intelligence level, right? He has a lot of. He is an upper level guy when it comes to smarts. He is a very unique individual. And these things are passed through DNA, and I think he's trying to have as many children as he can to give our country as many young, brilliant people as he possibly can himself. I think he's trying to spread as much of his DNA as possible.
Justice to these kids?
Yes. Are you kidding? Their dad's the richest man in the world, the richest man who's ever lived.
They don't even know him.
Yes, they do. They know him.
Well, they know him, but her son doesn't know him.
Yeah, he's an infant. It's a 5-month-old baby. 5-month-old baby doesn't know anybody.
Well, you got to ask yourself, what's going to be his situation?
He's set for life. He's going to be rich, and for life he'll never want, and and he'll be very smart and everything else, like his dad. What happened with the girl, Steve? What happened with the girl is she's a psycho. Okay. Some people.
By the way, just give me a source on this.
A lot of people have been talking about her that are she's a conservative influencer, and in these circles she's well known. She worked at the Babylon Bee and others, and people that a lot of these young conservatives like the Charlie Kirk types know her. And I can't remember who said this the other day. Somebody will let me know. But one of them said that she's been trying to get Elon to impregnate her for 5 years.
Yeah, but don't you think she's got a devil in this fight?
No. She sought him out to get pregnant by him so she could win that Elon Musk lifetime lottery ticket.
For a fact, that's just gossip.
Now, it's from people that know her. She got pregnant on purpose to have his baby, so she set up. That's what people are saying. And she's not. And what happened? No. I've been following this very closely. I know the whole story. And what happened was she's kind of like Glenn Close in that movie with Michael Douglas. She's a fatal attraction. What happened? Elon spent Valentine's Day on Friday with one of the other baby mamas. She saw it online and got ticked off and went to the press. She wanted to spend Valentine's with him, and he didn't. He spent it with one of the other baby mamas. So that's why she went to the press.
So what happens when this particular child, the one most recent child, what happens when he has a birthday? Is he going to have a daddy at the party?
Yeah, sure. His dad's Elon Musk, the richest man who's ever lived.
Not based on what I've seen in this case.
Because the press she and the press want to. This is what they're doing. He's MAGA. They're right? Trump and Elon are conservatives. They think that MAGA people, since we're strong family values people, that we're going to drop our support of Elon Musk and Doge will fade away over this baby mama drama. I don't care if he has 80 kids by 80 different women. I don't care.
Well, I don't see that right there is your.
What he's doing is much more important than any of that.
You don't know what he's doing.
I know what he's doing.
Well, he's taking care of her.
No, he is taking care of them. She has a high-rise apartment in New York City. It's like millions of dollars.
Well, I'll be glad to turn it over to the audience.
Everyone's going to agree with me.
Opinion. But I'll tell you something. I don't, as a gentleman, from that point of view, because I agree. I think we on Elon's side have a dog in the fight. And
No,
I don't like
it's
the
fine.
way he's
I,
handling
I, I
it.
like it. I like it. I think we should have as many little Elon babies as possible. He's
Well,
very, very smart.
Let's see if they. I want to see if the women in the audience agree.
Everyone's going to agree with me. Let's give out the number. I want Elon to have 1,000 kids. I want him to impregnate women when he's on his deathbed in 100 years. That's how smart he is. 1-888-465-2631. I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and I want to tell everyone about the incredible free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. You know, Sloman's will give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your cell phone, just like I have, with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. Okay? They're going to, I know, it's amazing. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for your doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and a backup battery. Plus, you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. And, you know, with this doorbell camera connected to your cell phone, you get a notification every time there's movement at your door, no matter where you are. So sometimes I'm just in my backyard and I get a notification, oh, there's somebody coming up to the door. So I know if I got to go answer the door or not. Or when I'm on our cruises, and no matter where we are, no matter what country we're in, I know when there's movement at my house right from my cell phone. It's amazing. Here's the number. Get your free doorbell camera. The number is very easy to remember. 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Back after this. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. 1 minute. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, and everyone, if you don't mind, like the video. Liking the video helps. We got less than a minute left. Just watching the clock. We got a full board of calls, so I'm assuming the only people that are going to be against Elon Musk on this issue are Democrats who are desperate to find something. Okay, stand by. 30 seconds. All right, welcome back, everyone. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Steve, you back with us? Oh, hold on, let me do this. I got Steve here. All right, Steve, you back with us? All right, I'm going to put Steve on hold. We'll go back to Steve and take some. We got a full board of calls here. I guess Steve mentioned sex, and then the lines lit up. I'll try Steve one more time before I go to the calls. Steve, you with us? All right, I'll put Steve on hold, and we'll just go take these calls while I get Steve. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. How are you today? Brian, they can take that $5,000 check and get it to me as quick as they can.
Heck
this
yeah.
is so outrageous what we're seeing. Absolutely. Absolutely. You think about 10 million people over 120 years old. I mean, the population of Greenland is 58,000. Are we financing countries with our tax dollars?
The world. We're financing the world.
Absolutely. And $5,000 compared to the outrageous amounts these guys are ripping us off for, it's not even table scraps.
Mm-hmm.
Not even table scraps.
Agreed.
It's an outrage. It's a disgrace.
So who can?
And that should probably be a bigger amount too. Should probably be a bigger amount when I hear about billions and trillions.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay. Now that Elon has commented on this rebate check, and people are talking $15,000 per household of taxpayers, okay, not each person. That's now becoming an expectation. So they're going to deliver on that. But there may be more. There may be multiple payments as they find more corruption.
I don't think we've even found the tip of the iceberg. I mean, like you say, wait till they go to the Pentagon, see what's going on there.
You know, and I remember all these other problems. I remember Obama. Oh, the Republicans want tax cuts. How are they going to pay for it? And look at all this nonsense they're paying for.
Well, we're going to pay $1 billion for Obama's library. Did you see that segment last night?
Yeah, how long has that been going on? 6 years? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what 800 million's already been pulled into, and it looks like it's a monstrosity, that building, his library and that. And they expected to go over $1 billion for his friggin' library.
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion for Obama's library, $1.5 billion for Kamala's joke of a political campaign. People are really getting fed up with this.
Well, can you imagine what that library is going to be like? How many bathrooms they're going to have with all these genders?
Oh, I don't know.
Does everything
it looks terrible from the outside?
Does everything have to be in everything has to be in English, Spanish, and Arabic?
Yes.
Yes.
You got to check all the boxes, even to build a presidential library.
Yeah. All right, take care, man. I appreciate the call. All right, let me try Steve again. All right, Steve, you back with us? I don't know why. I've gone to Steve like 3 times. He's not there. I'll just go back to the calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Peter from Boca.
Hey, Peter.
I was wondering, did Steve fall out of bed today and hit his head? He's making no sense about Elon.
Well, no, there's a lot of people saying that about Elon. You got to speak up. But there's a lot of people saying that about Elon because the liberals think that we're going to drop him because we're the family values crowd, right? And he's having kids out of wedlock, so we're going to want Doge to shut down. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly. And how about all the special athletes? Is he worried about those children? Elon's kids are going to be perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You're going to have to ban Steve Kane for one day. Until he comes back.
For one day. He was off on Monday and Tuesday. It's his first day back. All right, take care. All right, let me try Steve again. All right, you back with us, Steve? I don't know why. I get everybody but Steve. I go to Steve. Steve's not there. Everybody else is there, so I don't know. Let me try again. All right, let's try again. Steve, you with us? See, I tell you, everybody else is there but Steve. I don't know. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Dana morning.
Hey, what's up?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Brian. Okay, getting back to the Elon Musk story with the number of children, the 13 children that he has. Now, I was talking about this with my husband the other day, and I happen to take Steve's side on this. You know, when you have like 13 kids, you know, are they having family dinners together?
Oh, no. No. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares?
No. Who cares? Because that's family.
So, okay, so slow down. So what are you suggesting? That Trump drop Elon Musk, who's saving our civilization with him?
Oh, no. I'm not telling him to dump Musk. I'm just saying I don't believe in, you know, Musk should get, you know, a vasectomy. I mean,
I told you, listen, he's doing this on purpose. By the time he passes on, he may have 100 kids. Elon Musk is an extraordinary person on the intelligence level, right?
Absolutely.
He wants to have as many children with his DNA as possible. He would have 1,000 kids if he could. I'm serious.
You know, I'm sure you interacted with Emily.
I'm not the richest man in the world, though. There's a difference.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, sure. His kids will never want.
Yeah, but you teach your children how to play baseball. You toss it around.
I don't care.
He could.
Elon Musk could hire the New York Yankees to teach his kid how to play baseball, and it'd be cigar money for him. He's that rich.
Yeah, but it's not the same as your dad or your mom.
Who cares? How can you care about that?
Interaction. Well, but interaction with the real world.
Please.
And a real.
You know, these people, all these people like you know, these liberals. Okay, I know you're not liberal, but these liberals who say,
I'm not a liberal.
I know you're not,
but
the ones that are attacking him, okay, they say that he's not spending enough time with this kid. These are the same people last week who were griping that he was spending too much time with his son X that was in the Oval Office with him. They're just looking for a way for us to drop him.
Favoritism. I understand that. You know, I do totally understand that. But you know what? Everybody needs a family, a unity, a place to come together. And
okay, so what do you want us? So what do you want us to do to Elon Musk over this?
No, I don't want to do anything.
Okay, he doesn't want to do anything. Oh, that's good. I don't want to do anything either. He's doing great. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Never Trumper Steve in Palm City.
Oh, hold on, Steve. Hold on. All right. Yeah, good.
I have to admit.
Yep. Go ahead.
You there?
I'm there.
Okay. I never know when you come on at 6:03 a.m. whether I will get a good laugh or get angry, but today was a good laugh, I felt. When you elected to play amateur psychiatrist to analyze Hannity, there's something called projection, which I know you know what that means, but for your
not project. You can tell me. You can say that all you want. I have followed Hannity since before he was famous, and that's just my opinion on how his personality has changed. And there's a big difference. It's not projection. Give me a break.
Projection. When you say that he interrupts people all the time, that's what you do with me.
But you're not. Excuse me. You're not Donald Trump, the president of the United States. There's a difference. I would. No. I said. I said he talks to he interrupts President Trump like I interrupt liberal jerks that call me. You don't interrupt Donald Trump. You're not like Donald Trump. If Donald Trump were on the phone, I would say nothing until he let me know it was okay to speak.
Yes. And you attempt to educate the audience.
No, I don't. I do not. No, I talk about the issues of the day and give my opinions. I'm not. I am not a teacher. No, the audience is much smarter than me. You're not, but many in the audience.
As far as Musk is concerned, how smart he is and how good he's doing being on Doge, he is a walking, talking conflict of interest. I could name at least 4 agencies that he's gone in with.
Well, give me one. Give me one. Give me a conflict of interest with him. One of them, then. You got 4. Give me the best.
Oh, they're all good. In fact, one, thank God you didn't know about it when you were traveling from California and then back, because give me
his biggest conflict with Doge. Give me the biggest. I'm almost out of. I got a break. So give me the biggest conflict.
With FAA or just any?
Give me the biggest conflict of interest he's uncovered. where he shut down his competition.
Okay, here, competition I'll keep separate. He fired people in the Nuclear Security Agency and the Department of Agriculture.
No, he didn't.
Inspecting.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He doesn't fire. He does. Excuse me. He has no government authority to fire. They were fired by the president. President brought some of them back. He doesn't fire people. That's not a conflict, by the way. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold. Everyone on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. Hey there, hold on. Hey, hold on. It's going to be a couple minutes. Hold on. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking?
Well, metals looking great, Brian. The markets continue to rally up against the all-time record high of $2,945, which we saw it hit again last night. Gold yesterday closing up $36.90 at $2,934.90.
Wow.
After trading in a range of $28.91 on the low all the way up to $29.37. So the good gain yesterday, $36.90, as we've seen people literally lined up at our offices to do business.
Oh, yeah.
Silver was up 44 cents, $32.81 on the close. Platinum gained $2 at $9.81. And palladium was unchanged at $9.66. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $2,923 on the low, all the way up to $2,945, right up against that all-time record high again, which it looks like we're soon going to break through. And right now, $2,940 gold up $5.10.
Wow, that's amazing.
Silver up 9 cents at $32.90 the ounce. Platinum down $5 at $9.76, and palladium up $8 at $9.74. So. Good market, good time to go through that safety deposit box and all those drawers that have all that little pieces of jewelry laying around in there that are broken or not being worn anymore, and bring it on in for the top prices, because you'll be amazed at how much a few pennyweights of 14-karat gold will be worth today.
Yeah, and by the way, that jewelry that's broken, old, ugly, out of style, gaudy jewelry, don't clean it. It doesn't matter what it looks like if it's just of the metals. And silver's doing amazing too, William Youngerman. These numbers on silver are wild, too. All right, guys, listen. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Give him a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And his address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway, on the south side of the street. And don't forget, you can do your transactions over the phone and through the mail with William Youngerman. It's very easy, very convenient. And you won't get put on any list where people are calling you and all this stuff, and you get great deals on the metals. You can find William Youngerman's phone number and address on his website, WilliamYoungerman.com. That's WilliamYoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, exciting times for the metals. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, one opening where William Youngerman was holding, and we got Steve Kane back. Steve, You back with us?
I'm here. Are you
Okay.
there?
I'm always here. I mean, I'm just, I'm here 24 hours a day. I'm just, I got to tell you.
The Post is full of all kinds of stuff today. Did you see this? What's going on with Barron?
Nothing.
You didn't see there's something about a scandal involving
No
Barron?
scandal involving Barron. No scandals. So a girl at NYU said something about him, and but there's no scandal with Barron. He's a choir boy.
Tell me the story.
I don't remember exactly what she said, but she made some negative comment about Barron, and they removed her from heading up the college Republicans or something over it. No scandal with Barron. He's the tallest choir boy that's ever lived.
He sure is a big boy, that's for sure.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he is. All right, well, you
don't have the details of that, though.
That's all I know. But, you brought up sex, and there's only one opening on the board where William Youngerman was on, so...
Ain't it amazing?
It's insane. Before we go back to the calls, though, I want to talk to people about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. I wonder, Steve, what my life would be like if we never met Dr. Appleton, because he's rid me of pain 7 times. And if we never met Dr. Appleton, I would either be a drug addict hooked on all the prescription drugs, or I just would be like in a wheelchair, because he's rid me of arthritis in my hand, my shoulder injuries twice he's taken care of, my knee pains. I mean, I'd be like a 90-year-old man, in a wheelchair. The laser wave pain treatment, the reason it works and lasts, the first time he rid me of pain, we met him over 2.5 years ago, is because the laser treatment repairs the damage that's causing the pain. And not only is the laser treatment painless, you don't even feel it. There's no sensation at all. Okay? People ask me about that. Well, you don't feel it, but do you feel anything? No, you feel nothing. Only better, okay, after the treatment, because your pain's gone. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of, and I'm learning of new pains all the time. And it's really exciting when I meet listeners. They always point to the part of their body that doesn't hurt anymore. It's pretty cool. Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. There's no needles, no shots, no injections, no downtime, and no appointment necessary, even on Saturdays. You can walk right in. Usually if I'm there, it's on Saturdays. But one time I was in such pain, I couldn't wait till Saturday. I went there Friday afternoon, just showed up, and he treated me. Give him a call and say bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, Steve, you want to take some calls, Steve?
Yeah, sure, do it.
Okay, let's go. The people that agree, that are going to agree with you about the baby mama are probably liberals, but we'll find out. We'll find out. You're on the air.
Well, you're not discounting their opinion because they have a different political philosophy.
I hope Elon has 1,000 kids before he dies. He's so smart. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Matthew from Pompano. How are you guys?
Hi.
Good.
Very good, thank you. I just think that you began the show started talking about sending checks, 5,000, 10,000, and it's the same problem that Biden got into, which is inflationary. You start sending out checks to people. First of all, you're $37 trillion in debt. And second of all, you give people money, and they're just going to go and start spending it on things that they may or may not need. You yourself mentioned about, I'm going to get a new car. That's the inflationary spiral that you're into. It's a big mistake.
I don't know. That's too cerebral for me. This is what I know. That every year the one thing I always have to set money aside for are my taxes. Okay, I'm paying I pay my taxes quarterly. Accountant's always calling me. Oh, Brian, you got to send in some more money. And we find out that they're taking our money and they're living high on the hog on it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with giving the taxpayers, people that are actually paying taxes, okay, and some of that money back. You don't have to keep yours. Yeah.
You have already spent the money. The inflationary cycle that begins by sending out additional checks is what got everybody into the problem to begin with. So I agree with cutting expenses, cutting the debt, getting rid of the corruption, all of which is being uncovered. Tremendous. But you're now compounding the mistake if you say, okay, now we're just going to send checks back
Okay.
out.
Well, I'll tell you what. When you get your check,
what you're saying.
when you get your check in the mail, send it back to the Treasury. Don't take it. You and Steve. But I'm going to take mine.
It's not about my individual. It's not about my individual check. It's about the entire cycle of sending checks out. No one's going to turn down free money, but that's the problem. That you give out.
It's not free money.
People
It's not free money. They've been stealing it from us. It's been theft. They've been stealing it from us.
So stop stealing, but don't send out additional money and create an additional inflationary cycle that will now bleed into the system for another 4 or 5 years.
Hold on. What happened here is at one point their eligibility expired, and they got a check anyway. And instead of being honest and turning it in and saying, I don't deserve this, they cashed it anyway.
No.
So it's kind of
I agree with you.
dealing.
If you want to cut the waste, fraud, and abuse of sending out fraudulent Social Security checks or to illegal immigrants who don't deserve them, all warranted. But to then say, oh, we found money and we're going to send out to every household.
Well, wait a minute. Are we? Well, okay. President. Okay, George. Okay. Slow down. I already heard that. G.W. Bush did this with a smaller amount. It was, if I remember correctly, it was $600 a person, a taxpayer, up to $1,200 per household or something. Okay. You know, is it just the amount is too much, $5,000, or you don't want any money sent?
I want them to cut the budget deficit as close to zero as possible. You're $2.5 trillion a year overspending.
But
so let me explain this to Brian. Brian,
I understand
what
it.
What he's saying is if you get a windfall, the extra checks that have been coming in and being cashed are windfalls for the people getting them. You can either use the money to pay down the debt, or you can turn the money back in and bring it to the authorities' attention.
No, I think that I want some of the money back. You know, think about how that would help us in the midterms.
It'll help for political reasons, but now egg prices will be $25.
No, see what President Trump's long-term goal is, okay, is to abolish the income tax, fund the entire country on the tariffs, and it looks like it's possible because so much money is being wasted. You know, and to do that, that's a big process. He's going to need 4 years of Republicans. Whatever financial negativity came out of sending people rebate checks would be made up by having a stronger majority in the midterms. Because historically, we could lose the midterms if the historical pattern's true, and we get the Democrats back. I think the rebate. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying from a very cerebral economic thing, but when you talk about winning the midterms, could you imagine if every tax-paying American got $5,000 in their household right before the midterms? Who are they going to vote for? Trump's people or the Democrats?
Of course, for Trump. Of course, I'm for Trump, but you're building in a system where prices will continue to escalate away.
Okay. Hey, listen, I got to run, but I appreciate the call. Take care, man. You made some good points. Very intellectual guy. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, Tom. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Thomas.
You're on the air.
How are you guys?
All right.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me still?
I can. You're calling us from the coast of the Gulf of America in Fort Myers. That's awesome.
Yes, I am. Hey, okay, first thing right off the bat, I have realized we are all wrong somewhere. I just wanted to chime in about the Doge expedition that's going on. It all looks really good on the surface, but is it setting precedents for the digital currency? That's number one.
First off, we hardly use cash anymore anyway. Apple Pay, Google Pay, debit cards. We're already cashless. We're almost out of time, so we got 10 seconds.
Yeah. Do you want for the government, Big Brother, to know everything that you're buying?
They already do.
Sale and all these
They're not looking into what we're buying. Hey, listen, I got to run. A little paranoia there from the Gulf of America. Well, listen, we're out of time for today, but we'll be back tomorrow. We have a full board of calls. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back live tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if you're still on hold, you'll be first in line. Don't forget, join me on Tuesday. Steve, I'm going to appear with Attorney Barry Siegel at the Spanish River branch of the library in Boca on Tuesday at 10 a.m. for his Revocable Living Trust Workshop. See you there Tuesday, 10 a.m. in Boca. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. Take care. We'll talk tomorrow morning. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? I'll see you later. Take care.